I did raise my hand. You had a question. Earlier you said that yoga means to connect.
Right.
But in Patanjali, doesn't it mean Chitta Vritti?
Nirodha?
Yeah.
Chitta Vritti Nirodha simply means the cessation of all agitations of the mind. So when one connects to that which is peace within, there is no more agitations. Paramananda Prapti. No matter what's going on in the outside world, you can't be affected. That's true yoga. Isn't that true in yoga? What do? Downward dog, this thing, that thing, you bend like a pretzel. What does that aim to do? You must bear the discomforts of the body. That is the ultimate goal of yoga. And once you can do that, you're fully well connected to that within. Yeah? Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Ravi?
So on the topic of yoga, you mentioned people who do things with crookedness and with ulterior motives.
Right. Kapat or lapat.
Yeah. I would say that the majority of popular yoga in America is either done ignorantly or intentionally, maliciously, through crookedness, because it leaves out 90% of
the true stuff.
Exactly. So in terms of the way that the appropriation is being done and the money is being made off of it, the billions and billions of dollars, which I think in another like 10, 20 years is projected to grow twice as much, to 80 billion or something like that.
Definitely.
So how does that fit into that like kind of teaching where we're seeing the people who engage in that form of crookedness, whether they know it or not, whether they admit to it or not, they're really benefiting from it, and we're losing out. It seems even in the long run.
Right. So there's two factors going on there. There's lack of education. I always say people who practice yoga and just stick with downward dog are like the surgeons who have the scalpel and didn't go to medical school. What do? They start carving everybody, right? And they take money in the process for that. Destroying the world in the process. If you're in yoga, you should educate yourself thoroughly. Learn all aspects of yoga. Number two, anyone who is doing yoga should never ask for payment in return. It is a no-no according to Shastra. I will never ask for anything for what I do. If I happen to receive, that is a different story. Nowadays, people have price lists. One session yoga, $100. Second session, $200. You should not even benefit from that in that way. It is a knowledge, once you've gained it, that you should share with the world. True yoga is supposed to link you to something within. It's not supposed to stay at the physical level. And if someone doesn't take you to that point, the point of focus, which is the self, then that is not true yoga. Right? If it's just at the body level and I feel good after a good stretch, I mean, you can do that at the gym. But yoga is something so much more deeper. It comes from the Sanskrit root, yuj. Yuj means to yoke. What are we yoking to? Something that is higher than this body. So if we're just focused on toning the body, not yoga. Focused on toning the mind and getting to something that is higher than us, that is yoga. And such a thing, right? A person who practices it and shows other people should never even ask for anything in return. Whatever they get, they get. That's how it should be. So to answer your question, I frown upon it, but what can we do? It's the age that we live in. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if they're increasing their Papa count or something, then...
Yeah, well, the Papas definitely will come with that. Because I'm sure they'll feel a sense of agitation, or maybe they won't. But at the end of the day, they have to answer to themselves. You know? That's what I feel. Everyone is accountable for themselves. That's it. Anyone else? Yes.
So at one point you were talking about the not letting the anger get to yourself, right? So much so that it turns into hatred.
Right.
So what does one talk to oneself to keep that from happening, or how do we actually do that?
You have to remind yourself that anger is like the trump card or the ace in your deck or the tool in your pocket. When you need to express it, and the key word is when you need to, not when the toast is burnt, okay? Or when your friend doesn't want to do what you're doing, okay? No. Everyone evolves in their own time. The toast will always be burnt. But a serious situation, right? let's say someone is doing something that is anyay, something that's very wrong, correct?
And you see that.
If you see that happening and you get passionate or angry about it, that is okay because it'll discipline that person. But that anger, you should remind yourself, it should not get deep-seated within me, because you know what anger is like? Anger is like me drinking poison if I get angry and expecting that person to die. Is that going to happen? If I drink poison, who's going to die? I will. So I have to constantly remind myself, and this is what you call mananam, constantly churning in your mind the realities of this world. If I get anger, if I get jealousy, if I get all of these shadvikaras, shadvripus that I was talking about earlier, selfish desire, anger, greed, attachment, false pride, and jealousy, these 6 things, I'm only hurting myself and nothing good can ever come out of that. So I have to remind myself daily. Yeah? It's just the constant self-practice and self-awareness. That's all it is.
Out of time. Sorry.
Oh, time out? Okay. All right.